All right, diving into this material on Albert Einstein, I got to admit, seeing that photo, you know the one, wild hair, tongue out, pretty funny. But we're going deeper than the memes, right?
Absolutely, going way beyond. Unpacking the man, the rebel behind the genius. Biographical stuff, scientific papers, even some of his letters. Quite a collection.
And that's what's so cool. Not just formulas, it's about Einstein the person.
Yeah.
So young Albert, struggling in school, they call him a daydreamer, but geometry at 12, self-taught. Thoughts?
Classic case, brilliant mind, doesn't fit the mold. Not just smart, but this driving curiosity. Rote learning couldn't contain that. Even at Zurich, Polytechnic, prestigious place, clashed with professors, challenging authority, it's a theme throughout his life.
There's that expulsion story. Was he really kicked out or was that a statement?
Sources are fuzzy on that one. Disruptive influence, some say, but others, maybe he strategically left. Either way, that independent spirit, it's there.
Makes you think, if he'd conformed, would we even have the Einstein we know?
Big question. But 1905, that's the turning point. The miracle year. Patent office by day, revolutionizing physics by night, not once, but 4 times.
Talk about a side hustle. Everyone knows EMC swap, but those other papers, what were those about?
Let's break it down. Photoelectric effect, not just a theory. This is solar panels. Light, it's both wave and particle, the photon, and bam, quantum mechanics groundwork is laid. Explains why your phone charges with the sun. Pretty cool, huh?
Whoa, over a century ago, powering our world today. Incredible. But Brownian motion. Sounds a bit dull, gotta be important though, right?
Far from dull. This is how we knew atoms existed. Einstein saw tiny particles jiggling in fluid, he realized. Collisions with even tinier atoms. Atoms were just a theory. Until then, boom, proof.
Okay, on to the big one, special relativity. This is where it gets mind-bending. Time dilation, length contraction, sounds like sci-fi.
Sounds like it, but crucial stuff. For understanding the universe, even GPS relies on this. Space and time, not absolute, see? It's relative to your motion. Travel at light speed, time slows down for you compared to someone standing still. Time dilation.
Wait, so time isn't constant. Mind blown.
Lot to take in, and length contraction too. Things appear shorter the faster they move. Weird but real, proven again and again.
And of course the famous equation, EMC4. Memorized it, but never truly got it.
It's simpler than it seems. Energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. Mass and energy interchangeable. Even tiny mass, huge energy locked inside atoms, explains nuclear reactions, the sun, power plants, even, well, the bomb.
So that equation, the sun, nuclear power, the bomb, amazing and terrifying.
Power science, both sides. And Einstein unlocking that truth about the universe, pure genius.
Scientific revolutionary, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm curious about the human side, the man behind the equations. What was his personal life like?
Well, more complicated than his theories. Married twice, kids, even affairs. Geniuses, they're human too, right?
Makes me think, did he know what his theories would lead to? The impact, did he foresee it?
Good question. Was it practical applications or just pure scientific drive? Some say understanding the universe was his goal. Others point to the patent office, that practical side.
Fascinating what was going on in his head during those discoveries. We picture scientists isolated, but Einstein, he had relationships, passions, complexities.
For sure. And his personal life, not always perfect, but it adds to the picture, Even a mystery, the fate of his first daughter, Lassarl. Shrouded in speculation, that one. We'll get into that later.
Okay, I'm hooked. This is way more than just science. Seeing Einstein in a whole new light.
It really does make you think about the whole person, right? But let's get back to the science, because Einstein didn't just stop after that miracle year, oh no. He went on to general relativity, even more mind-blowing than the special theory.
Okay, so if special relativity is about space and time, what's general relativity about?
General relativity brings gravity into the picture. Einstein's big idea. Gravity isn't a force acting through space, but a warping of space and time by mass and energy.
Space-time warping. Gotta try to picture that. It sounds kind of like Star Trek.
Well, it kind of is, in a way. General relativity predicts some wild things, black holes, where gravity is so strong, nothing escapes, not even light. And then there are gravitational waves, ripples in space-time caused by massive objects accelerating, And get this, those waves were only detected a few years ago, a whole century after Einstein predicted them.
A century? So he was basically a time traveler predicting things 100 years out. Unbelievable.
But hold on, what about quantum mechanics? Didn't he have some issues with that?
He did. Laid some groundwork for it. Remember the photoelectric effect? But later on, he got more critical of the whole thing. Famous quote, God does not play dice with the universe. That was him. Uncomfortable with the randomness, the probabilities in quantum theory.
Meaning what, exactly? Was he saying the universe is predictable, like clockwork?
Yeah, basically. Quantum mechanics says at the tiniest level, things are uncertain. You can't know both the position and momentum of a particle perfectly. Einstein, big believer in determinism, he hated that idea, thought there had to be some underlying laws even at the quantum level, just waiting to be discovered. So these big debates with Niels Bohr, other physicists about, like, what is reality even? Must have been intense.
The Bohr-Einstein debates. Legendary stuff, not just science arguments, but philosophy too. What is real? What's cause and effect? Does the observer matter? Made everyone face the deep implications of quantum mechanics, stuff we're still debating today.
Amazing, these giants of physics wrestling with these huge questions. But Einstein, he wasn't just a science guy in a lab, right? He cared about social justice, used his fame to speak out.
Totally. Peace, civil rights, even complex views on Zionism, the creation of Israel. Famous quote, nationalism is an infantile disease. It is the measles of mankind. Strong words.
So he was a pacifist then, opposed to all violence, war like that.
Yeah, in many ways. But it was nuanced. World War II, for example, he signed that letter urging President Roosevelt to develop the atomic bomb, scared that Nazi Germany would get it first. Heavy stuff, the power of his own equation, that technology, felt he had to act.
Tough decision for someone so into peace. How do you make sense of that, those two sides?
Complex dilemma haunted him later. Deeply regretted the bomb, became big on nuclear disarmament. Science for good or evil, you see. Scientists have to speak up against injustice, that's what he believed.
Really changes how we see scientists, not just lab coats and equations. Einstein shows it's connected to society, to responsibility. What do you think?
Totally agree. Complex guy, but never backed down from what he thought was right. Understood his voice mattered, not afraid to challenge those in power.
And he didn't shy away from tough topics, like racism in America.
Not at all. Called it America's worst disease. Even compared segregation to what happened in the Holocaust. Saw the connection, you know. Persecution of Jews, treatment of Black Americans, fought against both. Even befriended Paul Robeson, the singer, the activist, worked with him on civil rights.
Inspiring, using his fame for good, even to have made him unpopular. Didn't just stick to science, but fought for a better world. Makes you think, we could all make a difference, huh? But there's that one last piece, his search for the unified field theory.
Yeah, his holy grail, that one. Spent the last 30 years of his life on it. Trying to find one theory to explain all of the forces, gravity, electromagnetism, the weak and strong forces, everything together.
A theory of everything. One equation for the whole universe, that's what he wanted.
Exactly. A universe with simple, elegant laws, that was his vision. The unified field theory, that was the key, he thought. Never found it, though. Search continues to this day.
Kind of sad, spending so long on something he never cracked. Did he ever lose heart, feel like he was a waste?
Maybe, who knows? But some say even his failures mattered. That drive for the unified theory, it inspired physicists, shaped the whole field, didn't get the final answer, but opened up new ways of thinking.
So even failing, he pushed science forward.
Yeah.
Incredible impact, the scope of it all. But for us, the non-DBs listening,
Mm-hmm.
what's the takeaway from all this? What does it mean for everyday people?
Biggest thing, I think, is curiosity. Imagination, having the guts to question what everyone thinks. Einstein, he asked big questions, thought differently, spoke up even when it was hard. Reminds us, it's okay to challenge authority, think outside the box, never stop learning.
Powerful message. Even with all the complexity, the uncertainty in the world, we can still try to understand, to seek truth, make a difference. He showed us that, the power of the human spirit. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Einstein searching for that unified theory, that theory of everything. What would he think of physics today, what we're figuring out now?
Oh, such a great question. I think he'd be blown away, honestly. Gravitational waves, finally confirmed, the Higgs boson, all this research on dark matter, dark energy, it all builds on what he started, pushes those boundaries further.
It's true, we're still searching for that unified theory. Didn't give up on his dream, it's almost like his legacy's woven into physics itself.
Totally. And who knows, he might even disagree with some of it. String theory, for instance, unifying everything with these tiny vibrating strings. Some love it, some think it's too out there, not enough proof. Knowing Einstein, how much he liked simple, elegant explanations. Hard to say what he'd think.
Probably some heated debates with today's physicists, that's for sure.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, wouldn't he be happy? Pushing those limits, asking those big questions about the universe, just like he did.
Oh, absolutely. And he might even say, hey, The journey matters just as much as the destination. The curiosity, the questioning, that's what counts.
So for you, what mysteries are still out there? What would you ask Einstein, given the chance?
Ooh, tough one. So many mysteries left to unravel. I think I'd ask him about consciousness. How do we experience the world, our thoughts, feelings, all that coming from the physical stuff of our brains? It's a question that's been around forever, and Einstein, with how he saw the physical and the abstract, I bet he'd have some insights.
Amazing question. And it brings us back to something we've seen throughout this whole deep dive, right?
Mm.
Einstein wasn't just a brain in a jar. He was a philosopher, a humanist, wrestled with the big questions about life, everything. Science isn't just cold facts, it's about wonder, about searching for meaning.
Exactly. He saw the beauty, the mystery in the universe, never lost that childlike curiosity.
So as we wrap up this look at Einstein's life and work, hope it's been more than just facts and figures. The brilliance, yes, but also the human side, his struggles, the legacy he left us. More than just science, but philosophy, ethics, even social justice.
A complex guy, fascinating, who really changed things. In his story, it's a reminder, even when things are tough, that human spirit, the drive for knowledge, that wins out. Keep asking those questions, exploring, never settle for what you think you know.
Couldn't said it better myself. And on that note, a final thought, straight from Einstein himself. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing.
So keep those questions coming, folks. Keep exploring, keep pushing those boundaries.
Until next time, on The Deep Dive.